The Chicago Bears are taking on the Detroit Pistons today. Can the Bulls get in the win column against their division rival that's also been playing pretty damn good this season? The Detroit Pistons are where a lot of Chicago Bulls fans had hoped this team was going to be this season. We're going to talk about it all and more, but you know what we got to do first? Got to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Haize, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. Man, listen. Hey, this is still post-Luka world, bro. This Luka trade has really changed a lot of things for a lot of people, but you know, it's still basketball that needs to be played. The Bulls got an earlier game today against this Detroit Pistons team, and this is a team that the Bulls need to be wary of. The Detroit Pistons are right in the middle of the pack, basically, in every major analytic for on the basketball court. So this is a team that definitely can cause some fits for the Chicago Bulls, and they need to be really prepared today. And so, listen, I hope that the Bulls can get a dub today. I know that, we have, of course, our Bulls fans to look at every win as a loss and every loss as a win, when it comes down to it. But, overall, this is still the Pistons. And I still always am going to hope that the Bulls can defeat the Detroit Pistons because, listen, it's still the Pistons. Like, I don't know what to say about it. I hate the Pistons. It's been ingrained in me, but, it is what it is. Technically, the Bulls are 2-1 in their last three. Got to try to manipulate those numbers to make it look the best that you can for the 3-3 in their last six. So let's see what the Bulls can do. This is the first game of this week. We do play today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. We got Detroit today, Miami on Tuesday, Minnesota Wednesday, and then Golden State on Saturday. So make sure you guys are in tune with us for that. And then we have a home and home against Detroit on Tuesday and Wednesday the following week. So that's going to be fun enough as it is as well. So we'll see what happens when that comes down to, but the Bulls have to be prepared today. This is a Detroit Pistons and a Cade Cunningham team that listen, they've been beating some teams, right? They have played pretty well this season. They are firmly a play-in team this year, which the chance to avoid that and actually make the playoffs outright, depending on how some things shakes out for them this season. They sit in a half game behind the Miami Heat right now for that 6th seed, which is important as far as missing out on that play-in tournament and not having to play in the one-game elimination play-in tournament. So, the Detroit Pistons are going to keep trying to win. And, there's been talk about them potentially being involved in a move or a deal as well. But tonight, we ain't got to worry about that. We just got to beat the team that's in front of us and hope that we get it done. So let's see what happens there. This Luka trade got me effed up. I mean, listen, here's what it comes down to, bro. The Luka Doncic trade is one of the crazy, like, we may never see a trade that catches the entire basketball community off guard in this way ever again. Like, it wasn't just that Luka was traded. It was how that it went down. It was the fact that there has been no buzz, no talk about Luka possibly being traded this season at all. And for it to go down after midnight on a random Saturday evening, and it to catch as many people off guard as what it is, like the fact that Shams had to come out and say, hey, this is real. This is 100% real, because people didn't believe it. So I'm not going to lie. I have no hope in us making a move after the Luka trade. I feel like the Warriors will see them making moves and going to be like getting Zach and Vooch doesn't elevate them enough. I actually have the opposite opinion. I think that this could actually make teams look and say they got to make more moves, right? Like you got to keep in mind, like when you look at where these teams sit right now, right? Like, for example, the Denver Nuggets right now, potentially the 4-5 matchup in the Western Conference is the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. That actually may make them say, hey, let's go ahead and make a move, right? It's a potential of that, right? You got a team like the Golden State Warriors who may have been saying, hey, yeah, we want to make a move, but maybe we don't make the plan this year. It's okay. It is what it is. Now with the Kings potentially about to make a trade, with the Dallas Mavericks making a trade, maybe the Golden State Warriors say, hey, no, let's go ahead and make a move because we think we can definitely be better than these teams now if we just get the right piece. So I have the opposite opinion, but I get where you're coming at in that one, right? Me and you was in the same boat last night during the live stream, bruh. Listen, because I felt like I was in the clear. It was after midnight, and I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I ain't got to worry about nothing. And literally, the trade, I got the notification on my phone probably about 5 minutes after the motherfucker hit. And it was like, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and dig in and have some fun. Left my ass off word. Trade got everybody still going, ooh, shit. Bro, there's so many people still trying to process this trade. There's a lot of people still trying to process this trade, man. What's good, Haize? Still kind of in shock after that trade. Need something good in my life right now because my head's a effed up place right now with the shit going on around me. Well, first of all, if the shit going on around you means like personal life stuff, keep your head in there, bro. Don't let it take you out the game. If it's the NBA stuff, don't ever let NBA trade stuff affect your peace. But if you got real life stuff going on, prayers up to you, brother, and you're gonna make it out on the other side of that, man. Hopefully, it will be the same starting lineup and adjust as the game goes. Yeah, I don't think that the starting lineup's going to change. Now, I could be wrong on that, but I don't get that feeling that the starting line we're going to see like mass changes to the starting lineup, but we'll see. Since we have back-to-back against Miami and Minnesota, which game would you rather Alonzo play in since he can't play back-to-back games? Probably Minnesota. Not to say that Miami's anything like, but they got some shit going on there, and I think that we can need Lonzo Ball's perimeter defense. Keep in mind, Zach LaVine should be back. He almost was cleared today. I think they went on and said that if today was a later game, he probably would have come back today. So, but the fact that it's being an earlier game, they weren't able to make it rock. So, I think in that Minnesota game, that's where I'd like to see Lonzo play at for sure. Haize, what a big dog. February is starting off to be crazy month. First, Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble. Now, this shit with Luka. I mean, hey, it is what it is, bro. Like, I mean, the NBA is never a dull place. Of course, the second tax apron was already making things a little bit more interesting than we're used to, with teams just trying to maneuver and figure that out. But hey, this is what we sign up for, bro. This is what we live for. This is why trade season is so fun from a perspective standpoint, from just a basketball spectator standpoint, because you just never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. I do think Clint Capella is probably a better. Keep in mind, the reason why I say that Clint Capella is probably more likely to the Lakers than Vooch, even though they need center depth, is A, Clint doesn't need any offense ran for him. They don't have to worry about running any plays for him. B, the Hawks already are looking for somebody to come in and kind of replace what Jalen Johnson brought to that team since he's down for the season. So I can see them really appreciating Rui Hachimura coming there. I think that the Hawks trade is probably a more likely trade. I read nobody knew about it until Shams broke the news, meaning Bron, AD, and Luka didn't know about it, which is wild. Yeah, I mean, that's adds to all of this, right? Yeah, it was said that you're absolutely right that LeBron had no knowing of it going on, that Luka had no knowing of it going on. So, it is what it is. I want to see more of Kobe and Io backcourt. I mean, we saw a lot. That should have been the backcourt. And that's not a slight to Josh Giddey, but when you look at how they finished that season strong, that should have been the starting backcourt this year. But I know the Bulls made a move. They got in a talented player in Josh Giddey, and you changed some things because of that. But yeah, Io and Kobe had a really good rhythm as a 1-2 punch of a backcourt. Haize, I thought you was bullshitting about the Luka trade at first because I was like, I never known this guy to do a clickbait video, but damn, that shocked me. Never. And that's one thing that I promise you guys, the one thing that you can always trust about this channel is there will never be a clickbait video. It won't be. Now I'll make some funny ass thumbnails, make no mistake about it, but I'll never make a clickbait video. I'll never do content for the sake of shock and awe. If I make content for something, especially if I go live for a breaking news video, it just means that it's something that's out there, right? So I think integrity when you're trying to do this is really big. That's why I used to shit on inside the Chicago Bulls and whatnot, because I don't one thing you will see about me, I don't fuck with channels that don't have integrity. So that's just how I operate. So I can't believe a trade like that happened and we're expecting to just watch regular basketball the next day like it didn't happen. Life goes on. Life goes on, fam. And Bulls for life, remember, bad times don't last. Hang in there, it will pass. Shout out to Supernatural with the great quote there. Justin, that hat go crazy. Listen, I appreciate that. It's cool. It's cool. It goes with the shirt, you know. Have you guys noticed Zoe's been driving to the basket pretty cool, although he's not finishing? I mean, Zoe's never been a great finisher. He hasn't. That's not a knock on Joe. I'm not trying to shit on him. He's never been a great finisher. So, it is what it is. But it's good to see Zoe just moving out there, and just playing like Lonzo. Right? That's what we're seeing. Zoe is playing like Lonzo Ball. Lonzo, same amount of games played as AC right now. I don't think anyone would have guessed that. Well, I don't know. AC's always had some issues, right, with staying healthy. So I just don't understand why only call the Lakers for a player that everyone wants, where they were really that dead set on AD. It seems like it. It definitely seems like it. Justin, I think that people really overrate the power that LeBron. This isn't prime LeBron, and it just isn't. LeBron is not lead GM anymore. Like, he doesn't have that level of power. He doesn't. Not to say that he doesn't have some say, but he doesn't have the level of power that he used to have. He just doesn't. I'm getting real drowsy. All this fentanyl. What? Why'd you go with that bar? Why'd you go with that bar? What up, Haize? I don't know about you, but I am concerned after listening to Open Run with Chris Mannix and Rachel Nichols. They both mentioned Bulls not looking for picks. They're targeting Bill as their star. They're not. Don't listen to that. There's no truth. I can tell you right now, hands down, there's no truth to the Bulls targeting Bradley Bill as a star player. There's zero truth to that. Absolute zero truth to that. The word is the Lakers aggressively pursuing a trade for athletic rim protector. I guess that takes Vooch out of the equation. Yeah, listen. And it really, like, Vooch would have made sense with AD. Now that they've moved on from AD, it really doesn't make sense. I get why a lot of Bulls fans are hoping that it's going to be that we can try to trade him to the Lakers, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Agree, bro. Cody is a ball handler, score first guard, and Io and Zach a three sweet his game at three suit his game as well. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, it does. That could be real. I was really excited for that. Love the gear, Haize. Also, man, I appreciate your content every time you post or do a live video. I don't comment a lot on here, but just wanted to let you know you're the man. I appreciate that, Jonathan. Hopefully you're checking out the pre-recorded videos that I drop every day too. Not only the live streams, you drop a pre-recorded video every single day and half for 1,338 straight days. So I hope that you're locked in with us on that as well. I think they called multiple teams have to be a health concern. They didn't call multiple teams. It's already came out. Like, the GM himself has talked about it. They didn't call multiple teams. They called the Lakers. So the GM said it out his own mouth. I could try to find the link to the interview. Out his own mouth. So no, they didn't call multiple teams. Have you heard LiAngelo Ball rap song yet, Haize? No, this song's fucking trash. LiAngelo Ball's rap song is trash. It's balls. That's what that is. That song is trash, and I hate every one of y'all that then push that song to make it seem like it's something. Every NBA player, every football player, anybody who's rocking that song and then trying to make it seem like it's like that song is fucking garbage. It's trash, and I hate everybody that continually streams that song. I hate every single one of y'all. Not you, every single one of y'all. LeBron is thrilled, I'm sure. Better a shot at winning now. The dude just loves basketball. Haize, you need a referral link to each of your fits. Get that money, bro. I definitely cop some. That's hilarious. But you know what? A lot of my fits, now I did all buy this together. But a lot of my fits are like some of the stuff that like goes perfectly together. It wasn't bought together. Like, literally, I'll buy a hat because I think it's a fly hat and not have shit. I got probably about 10 Bulls hats that I haven't wore, that I have nothing to go with, but the hat's fire. I'm just waiting on them to release something that goes with it. Just wait on them to release something that goes with it. Hazel, the Utah Jazz stupid or something, because I don't see why they're not starting and playing Walker Kessler a lot. Walker Kessler not starting for them now? I don't watch a lot of Jazz basketball. I'm not even going to front on you. There's a period of time where I was watching more Jazz basketball, probably like a season and a half ago. But I don't watch a whole lot of it anymore. Let's see. Let me see. He said starting. Shay, he started every game he's played and he averages 30 minutes a game. Shay, what the hell are you talking about? Shay. Shay, why do you do this, bro? Why do you not? You know, every time you of all people say something, I'm gonna verify it. Why don't you verify that? Walker Kessler is averaging 29.8 minutes per game, and he started all 37 games he's played this season. What do you mean they're not starting and playing him a lot? 30 minutes a game isn't playing a lot? There are only 48 minutes in the game of basketball, bro. What do you be talking about, Shay? Where do you be at, bro? Like, I feel like Shay be simulating a season on 2K and then gets here and forgets that wasn't real life. What the hell do you be talking about? Yeah, Nico Harrison called the Lakers himself, and that's what it's because he specifically he targeted AD specifically. Exactly. I hope Billy keep P. Will playing off the bench. He almost had a double-double last game, 11, 9 points, rebounds. We know, Jeremy. We know. Do you think since AD gone, is the Warriors gone for gone in for Bron? Bron came out today and said that he's committed to playing with the Lakers for a long time. So we'll see. We'll see. Left my ass off Shay's back, bro. Like, I have no idea where Shay we're seeing this stuff at, bro. Shay really be in some different place, bro. I like Shay will say something, be like, yeah, because you know he never plays good against Zach LaVine. You'll go and look at the numbers, like he averages 30 points a game against Zach LaVine, bro. What are you talking about? Shay, bro. You always, and I always got to fact check Shay. Always got to fact check him because Shay have you thinking some shit that ain't nowhere close to reality. Almost 17K people are watching. Watching who? Won't be 48 minutes a game, and Silver has his way. It'll be 40. Stupid idea. I actually don't hate. Listen, we talked about that over on Locked On NBA when I was on there, and I actually don't hate that idea. They're not going to limit the number of games. They're going to keep it to 82. If the NBA were to change it to 10-minute quarters, I wouldn't hate it. I'm just my personal. I would not hate it at all. Now, I don't think that they're going to do it, but I wouldn't hate it. Apparently, the Mavs approached another team about Luka, and they turned it down. God is my witness. If it was the Bulls, there's no reason for the Mavs to approach the Bulls about Luka Doncic. There's just none. We don't have nearly a player at the caliber of Anthony Davis. So, I wish AK would make a crazy trade. I mean, I just want him to make a good trade. I'm not one of the Bulls fans that are like, oh my God, AK, just make a trade because you haven't made one. I'm not saying that just you either, G Money. I'm not making fun of you. I'm making fun of the ones that have this mindset, right? The ones that are like, oh my God, do something. Why didn't you make a trade? You should make this trade, even though it's bad, just to say you made a trade. Like, that's not me, right? But I do want to see them make smart trades. I want to see them make the right moves, right? I think that it's very hard as a front office to be productive when you're so stagnant. So I think that's what I want to see. I'm not really worried about them making a trade just for the sake of making one, but I do want to see my front office be smart. That's for sure. Ball song is worse than that trade, and that says a lot. Yeah, that LaMelo Ball song is absolute god awful trash. See, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think it'll happen, right? Like, that's why I said I don't hate the idea, but I don't think it'll happen because you know how much that's going to change scoring. Like, and don't get me wrong, the NBA is already kind of moving towards, we're looking at advanced analytics more than box score stats. So I think at some point it'll be a natural progression, but at some point it'll be like, instead of just points per game, they'll be like points per minute played or something like that. Like what that would start being the records, because it would be a lot of difference there. Well, then again, with scoring going up as much as it is, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. If David Stern was still alive, he'd have vetoed the Luka trade as quickly as he did. No, he didn't. NBA can't veto trades. Remember, the only reason that the NBA was able to veto the Chris Paul trade is because the NBA owned the Hornets at that point in time. They owned the Hornets. So the NBA can't stop any trade from being made. They can't. They were able to stop that one because they owned the Hornets at that point in time. That's the only reason they were able to stop it. Maybe it's because he was eligible for Supermax and didn't want to pay him, but that shit's going to be a collusion. Just can't wrap my head. Oh, yeah. Listen, Luka's missing out on a lot of money because of this trade. Lots of more money than probably everybody in here combined will ever make in their lifetime. Luka's going to miss out on that on his next contract, even if he signs a max deal. I know for a fact Mark Cuban's considering he's not a majority owner of the Mavs anymore, wants to beat the shit out of Nico Harrison. Maybe. I don't believe that this trade puts the Lakers in position to be a championship winning team because when you look at, first of all, don't try to change the subject like you didn't just say that the Utah Jazz aren't starting and playing Walker Kessler more. You can't just try to change the subject and move and not type in the chat for 5 minutes after you said something as ludicrous as what you said, and then you're just going to try to come back like nothing happened. Shay, you need to address the fact that you just said that the Utah Jazz aren't starting Walker Kessler and aren't playing him a lot of minutes, and he started every game he's played and he averages 30 minutes per game. You need to address that. You definitely need to address that. Don't worry about no other points you're trying to make, bro. Don't worry about no other points you're trying to make. You need to address that, Shay. Luka lost a lot. He didn't have to pay state taxes, and that's another good thing as well. That's another good point. You think Nico Harrison wouldn't have taken a chance on defensive masterminds Levine and Vooch? Also, hi, Haize. What's going on, Camille? That is hilarious. That's funny. If the Lakers trade for Vooch, they would probably have the worst defense the second they do. I don't know, man. Shit, the Pacers defense is still god awful trash, but I feel where you're coming from. We can't talk with how bad Acme are, but Mavs GM is terrible. How the F you only get one first round pick back for Lucas is malpractice like a mother. Well, and this is what I talked about here, right? When we went live over on NBA Central. How many first round picks do you grade Anthony Davis as being, right? Do you grade him at being worth two first round picks, worth 3 first round picks? Because that you also have to offset. Max Christie, how much do you grade him at, right? It's just a question. I don't know. It's just a question. I'm curious if Luka feels betrayed because I'm sure as hell would, but I understand it's a business too. I mean, I'm sure Luka probably felt betrayed, especially they said that he wasn't consulted on it. I'm sure he feels betrayed. Let's be real. We don't know who won this trade yet. Maybe even on the Lakers, Luka struggles to stay healthy. Maybe AD and Kyrie get a ring or two. We don't know who won yet, but in vacuum Lakers, yeah, I've said it before, right? Every deal you have to judge 3 different times. You judge it by the initial deal and what you think is going to happen. Then you like to look at it a year or 2 down the road and look at it as where those teams are after those deals happen. And then you got to look at it long term, right? 5, 6 years down the road. And what do they eventually get for that, right? Because I think when you look at a team, for example, like the Boston Celtics, they already won the trade when they sent KG and Paul Pierce to Brooklyn. But then when you look at how many of those picks they flipped, turned the other things that eventually won them a championship, it took it even further, right? So you always got to look at a deal kind of multiple times when you try to grade it, multiple times. Lakers have the worst defense than France in World War. Wow. But accurate. Very accurate. Would it be realistic for us to get Miles Turner, or is it impossible? I mean, nothing's impossible, but it's improbable. Like, the Bulls aren't making. I think everybody needs to understand this. If the Bulls make moves, they are not moves to improve the team right now. Everything that we're hearing is that if the Bulls make moves, it's to gain future assets and future cap flexibility. You're not going to look at any Bulls trade and say, yeah, we got better because of that. You're just not. That's not what the Bulls are looking for at this trade deadline. It's just not happening. I'm out now, bro. Got to head to work. It's about to go 6 a.m. here. Catch you later when I've watched the game after I get home. Peace. Have a good day at work there, Troy. Appreciate you for tuning in, brother. Luka and Bron will have the Lakers offense humming now. If they get someone like Walker Kessler or Miles Turner, this team could probably make the conference finals at minimum. I got to see it on paper. Because listen, we've seen a lot of talented offensive teams. Hell, look at what the Brooklyn Nets did with Kyrie, KD, and James Harden. They had a when those players were on the court together, it was a generationally good offense. But you got to see how everything's going to come together. You just got to. Obviously different players, but there's a lot of similarities. What happened with Giddey trade? No, not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. I'm taking that view on a trade 3 different times with me. That's a Jim. Yeah, that's always the way that I've looked at it, right? You always got to look at a trade 3 different times, in my personal opinion, right? Because let's say right now, the Lakers get Luka. What they are getting Luka, right? You can judge it right now, but let's say maybe in the offseason, the Mavs turn around and flip AD for 2 or 3 first-round picks, right? Let's say that they do that. Let's say that the Mavericks finish this season out, and then through finishing this season, they realize, hey, yeah, AD's defense is cool, but we really need to just go ahead and clear the deck. So let's say that they turn around and flip AD to a team that disappointed last year or this year, and instead of drafting, they want to take that pick, trade it for a vet, right? So let's say they do that, they flip it, they get a top 10, top 12 pick in this year's draft. They turn around, flip Kyrie, right? There's a lot of things that they can do in that area. So LeBron and Luka play the same way. LeBron going to Golden State. I mean, he's already said he's committed to stay, but that doesn't mean that LeBron is the biggest liar in all the sports. So, there's that part of it as well. Time reveals all. Don't get caught up in the moment. Great facts there, Instro. Great facts. Bro, apparently the Mavs owner laughed when he was presented with the trade. That's crazy. If Luka was healthier and in shape, often I could see Dallas making that trade as their worry about that. Haize, do you think if P. Will continues to solid play off the bench going forward, should we keep him long term, but he comes off the bench? Or if teams might want him, do we trade him? I mean, anything's possible. I really think it depends on how good he is off the bench, what this team looks like. And there's a lot of different scenarios and a lot of different factors into that we just don't know yet, right? But I've already said before, I think that a team could convince themselves of the potential of Patrick Williams to try to make a move for him because they just don't think that the Bulls' development is that great, right? So we'll see. Listen, you still trying to come in here with other facts and avoid the fact that you just said Walker Kessler isn't starting and playing much? Say what? I'm on your ass about this all day long. Every time you get in the chat and try to type something, I'm on your ass, my boy. First of all, you got to address it. You got to address it. Is it possible we keep Giddey for some years? Yeah, there's definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility. Would you want Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton back if Jimmy goes to Milwaukee? Listen, I want the picks. I don't give a damn about the players. None of these players are going to change the Bulls' direction. I don't give a shit. I don't care. They can make a trade that gets Denzel Valentine back. If we get some first-round picks for it, I'm good. We got Dennis here. We can deal with Gums McGee himself. I care about the picks. That's what I'm on right now. The picks. What are we getting back pick-wise? What are we getting? So did someone just put the Gettler on Luka level? What the fuck? That's bro. It is what it is. We bet in the Pistons. We beating the Pistons. Need some reassurance before I lay some money down, bro. I don't predict wins and losses. I just don't do that, bro. I have this is because you never know which Bulls team is going to show up, bro. You never know which Bulls team is going to show up. So I don't know. I would not be surprised if the Bulls come out here and beat them by 15. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose by 25. You never know what team's going to show up with this Bulls team, man. Do you think the balls are going to match up well against the Pistons? I mean, I don't think that you want to put your balls up against Pistons because that's Pistons like that's. I don't think you want to do that. I don't think you want to put balls up against Pistons. That sounds very painful. It sounds very painful. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. Haize, do you think AK is more married to the idea of Giddey as the franchise perimeter point guard and trade Kobe or Io? Because there's no way Giddey, Io, and Kobe will be all here long term. I disagree with that. I think there's actually a really big chance that they're all here long term. Personally, I just do. The Jazz have a lot of picks. I think people really underestimate what second round picks can do for you. 2 second round picks can make for great affordable role players in the future. It could. I mean, that's why you stack them and you can trade them to get other things and move up other places. So, but all right, y'all, gonna get ready to wrap it up, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll be back at halftime. Make sure you guys are following the channel at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And I'll see you guys at halftime. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.